after this long break.
Give it a week, you'll be sick of the size of us again.
All good.
John, first and foremost then, how is the group looking? What's the list of any absentees for the games coming up?
Yeah, we got a couple of guys missing, obviously Callum McGregor, Ryan Jack, Aaron Hickey, obviously didn't make it. But everybody else at the moment seems to be fine. Quite a bit of excitement in the camp, as you can imagine. It's been a long time since we've seen the guys. I mean, I think I've been in hibernation. It feels like it in the cold winter months. But it's great to be back. But they've come back, they're reset and ready, focused, because we need to get back to winning ways, don't we? You know, we've had a couple of draws and we've had some big games against big nations in the world. Obviously France, Spain and England. So we need to get back to winning ways against another Pot A side in the Netherlands. So looking forward to that. Trying to put the Euros at the moment on the back burner. But as you can imagine, there's an awful lot of things going on and we have to look after. So the guys have had a couple of days and on the training grounds, been very good, very enthusiastic, and you can see there's a competitive edge there, because Steve's already come out and said what he said about we can only take 23 players away, so it's very competitive.
Of the players who are here, obviously Grant has had to drop out. How is Scott McKenna? He didn't seem to be involved this morning.
Yeah, well, we're waiting to have a look at him. He had a little bit of an issue from his game at the weekend, so he's being assessed as we speak. Yes, Grant, I forgot to mention Grant. Yeah, Grant's had an issue with his ankle, but he spoke to Steve beforehand. But everybody else is fitting, raring to go.
With a look ahead to the Euros, there's a lot of interest in what you do with the goalkeepers. What is the plan and how you use the 4 players over these 2 games?
Well, I mean, that'll be down to Steve and who he selects, but what it has added, it's added a huge amount of competitiveness. And we've seen that yesterday, because every single one of them was right on it. Normally the first day they eased the way in, but we had a small-sided game towards the end of training, and the 4 goalkeepers were outstanding. So it's going to be very competitive, but they know and we know that we can only take 3 goalkeepers to the Euros. So from now till then, there'll be an awful lot of observing. We'll be watching the games along with Chris Woods, the goalkeeping coach, and then the manager will have to make a decision.
Will Craig Gordon get the chance to play minutes in one of these games?
I can't say at the moment. I mean, we've not spoke about the goalkeepers. We've only been here 2 days. We've really concentrated on Netherlands, looking at how they play and how we're going to play, but we've not really gone into detail about the goalkeeping situation at the moment. But it will be competitive. You know, let's not forget the other 3 guys who've been outstanding for us, and been a big part of the squad. So we'll see. You know, I said it at the start there, there's a long way to go, but you know, we can only pick 3 in the end, and Steve will make that decision.
John, you say that the Euros are on the back burner at the moment, but everyone knows how big year 2024 can be for Scottish football, Scottish men's football. What do you feel?
Well, I've already experienced it, because all I've been doing is going to watch games for the last 4 months, and every time I walk into a stadium, whether it's in England or Scotland, to watch the players, everybody's talking about it. The fans are talking about it. The people in the boardroom are talking about it, and I've got to calm myself down sometimes, you know, when you go in there. But everybody's talking about it. There's a huge difference to when we qualified the previous time, and I can sense that, because obviously it was a difficult situation with COVID, so fans weren't allowed in. Now, I mean, I've now got so many Scottish friends want to go to the Euros. They're coming out of the woodwork, left, right and centre, looking for tickets. But everyone I speak to is going there. Not everybody's got a ticket, as we know. And when we went across to have a look at the facilities, they were expecting around about 100,000 in Germany, and that's incredible. So I can't wait to see that, because again, it was limited crowds the last time we were in the Euros, and that was my experience.
You say that you can sense a difference around the country about the expectation for the Euros this time around, but in terms of the players, can you sense a difference with them? Of course, back in 2020, 2021, it was the first time and did get out of the group. It's not how the team wanted to perform.
Yeah, not just there is a difference. Not just the players, but the staff as well, because you learn by experiences. And we've earned an awful lot, and we've gained more caps. So the players have more experience in that sense. So we've already experienced what one European Championship was like, and we're going into the second one with that experience behind us. And I think it's important. You know, you look at any successful team, once they win that first cup, for example, they usually have a run of success. Now, we've qualified for the Euros 3 years ago, or whatever it was, missed out on the World Cup, and now we're back in the Euros, because that's what you want. I remember sitting watching the World Cup, how disappointed I was sitting watching it on the TV. Now I'm going to be part of it, you know, with, like I say, in excess of 100,000 Scottish people out there, which will be great fun.
John, you talked about this competitive edge amongst the squad. Is that really visible now as Euros draw closer?
It certainly is. On what I saw yesterday and today, because everybody realises we've got 3 or 4 regular guys who are normally in the squad who are not here. So this is an opportunity for those guys to actually stake a claim and prove to the manager that they deserve to be in the squad. So it's going to be difficult for you know, at the end for Steve. It's going to be extremely difficult. Obviously he'll consult with the rest of the staff, but he's going to have to make that decision. So the more competitive these guys are and the better they do in these games, make his job even harder.
What's the reports on Aaron? Do you expect him to be okay come the summer?
Sorry, I missed that. Well, we're just waiting to find out. There's they're saying that it could be around about 2-3 weeks before he's back training with the team. We're just waiting for that final medical report to find out where he is. But it's like everything else. You've got that situation with Aaron, but other players, you know, it's a difficult time because they're all coming towards the end of the season with their clubs in competitive games, winning, you know, looking to win championships, finals, cup finals, whatever it is. And we've got to just keep our fingers crossed and hope that we have a little bit of fortune and don't have too many injuries or too many problems going into the championships.
If the injury situation isn't a big issue for you, how much do you think you'll have a clear view of your squad for the Euros after these 2 rounds of games?
I think Steve will have a base of what his squad is. You know, I can't really see how many players he's got to choose between who are in it now and who might come into it. But I think the players will have an idea themselves. You know, I don't know how he's going to approach it with regard to game time, because, like I said at the start there, we need to get back to winning ways again. So, in particular in this first game, we're going to have the right mindset, the right players on the pitch to try and win the game.
John, because the core group has done so well to get where they are, is there an extent to which you and Steve already know who's going in the summer?
We have a good idea, but we're not going to talk about it yet because somebody could come out from behind the cupboard and just appear. You know. You look at. I remember when we were together in November and we talked about Lawrence Shankland. And he came in and he got his goal, and you know he was consistently scoring goals in the league, but he came with us and he actually came on and scored the equalising goal in Georgia. Now for me, there might be another Lawrence Shankland coming from nowhere, up on the rails and just appear. But I think, if I'm being honest, Steve has a rough idea. You know, there might be 2 or 3 places that are up for grabs, and we'll have to see who takes those spots.
And in terms of the difference, you talked about the last Euros versus this one. I suppose we shouldn't forget how well Scotland qualified for this one, as opposed to, no offence, you know, squeaking in on penalties in the playoffs. It's been a big kind of upturn, hasn't it?
Yeah, but we need to continue that. You know, it's no good just thinking that we've done well to qualify and that's it. We've set a standard now, and every day when these guys come here, they try and raise the bar, and I think that's very important. So I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to do this, this and this. What I am going to say is we're going to try and improve and get better, which is one of the reasons why pre-Euros we actually played against the sides that we played against for the experience. I mean, we've qualified for the Nations League and we've got difficult teams in that as well. So we're going to play. The good thing is we're playing regular football at the highest level.
And that's the reason for this game here. It'll be much harder than Netherlands away.
Absolutely, you're not going to get a tougher game. We played them before the last Euros in Portugal, I think it was, and we got a draw 2-2. Played well, and most of this group of players are in the squad. So yeah, it's going to be a difficult game, but a game that, you know, I'm sure the guys will be looking forward to.
Of course, it's just a friendly, John, but are these the kind of teams that Scotland will need to beat if they do want to progress?
Well, I think it is a friendly, but it's a friendly with an edge, isn't it? Because of the competitiveness. Let's be quite honest about it. You know, I remember we went to Turkey and we played in Turkey last season. That was a friendly, and it didn't have the same edge. This will have a little bit of edge about it because all the guys want to be on it. They want to be in the squad. They want to be. Nobody wants to miss out. Somebody's going to miss out, but they don't want to miss out. So, you know, I think it adds a little bit. And again, you know, I think a few days later the Netherlands played Germany, so they've got good competitive games as well. So, you know, it's something in a fantastic stadium. I don't know how many fans we've got going, but I'm sure we'll have a noisy group of people making supporting us.
To bring a new centre-half in with Grant being out and potentially Scott being injured?
No, I think we're just going to leave it as it is. We've got enough cover in those positions, so I think we're quite happy with what we've got.
I know you've got a few injuries, but Grant in particular, he's obviously not played for the national team for a full year. It'll be 14-15 months by the time the Euros comes around. Is that a concern at all?
Well, it is because he's one of our squad, but it's up to Grant to get fit again and make sure that he's okay, and that's one of the reasons why he stayed behind to work with the people at Norwich. I think it's important he's in good condition. I mean, they're going well in the league as well. So, you know, if he gets himself fit and starts playing again, you know, there's no reason why he can't get back into this group.
You alluded to it there, the conversation we had in November about Lawrence Shankland when he got called up when Shea pulled out. You said it was a fantastic opportunity for him at that point to be the next Ryan Porteous, and he's pretty much done that. How would you reflect on the way he's gone over the past 4 months?
I think he's been great. You know, I've watched quite a bit of Hearts lately. Both Steve and myself were up there when they beat Celtic, and he just gets himself in the right areas. He's a goal scorer. You know, people talk about he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that, but you know what he does? He scores goals, and they're worth their weight in gold, and it's something that we do need. So he's going to add competition with Shea and Linden, which is important.
Can I just ask you about the process of picking players? You keep saying Steve's got decisions to make, Steve's got decisions to make.
Yeah.
How involved are you? You
No,
must get an input. You must.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Listen, I keep saying Steve, he's the manager, he's the leader. But we have regular meetings. We talk to each other 2 and 3 times a week throughout the seasons. And when we come on camp, we do spend a lot of time talking about the team, the squad. As it happens, we genuinely haven't spoken about the goalkeepers at the moment because we've got enough to worry about. We let Woodsy do that at the moment, but no, I do have a say, and that's the good thing about Steve. He does listen to what I have to say, and I think it's important because I speak the truth, as you all know, I think. And I think that's important. You know, he doesn't want yes men around him, and I'm certainly not one of those. But he does listen, and then it's up to Steve to then digest that and then make the decision. Whatever decision he makes, I'm backing him 100%.
Sometimes players come and confide in the coaches rather than the manager. How will you deal with it if players come and say, John, am I going to get in? How's it going to be? Like, how do you deal with that dynamic? Because someone's going to end up disappointed.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because that is part of my role within the structure of the national team, because they might feel a bit uncomfortable going to the manager, and I'll try and keep it open as much as I can, you know, and be honest. I think honesty is the most important policy, and I'll be honest, but I won't give away too much. That's for sure, because conversations that I have with Steve remain between the two of us. But I will speak to players and you know, give them what I think and try and encourage them to do the best in their preparation leading into these Euros.
You put poker faces in the system.
I'm not bad at it, yeah.
John, you joked there earlier about, you know, you're having to calm yourself down with the Euros just a few months away. You know, in your career, have you ever experienced such level of excitement ahead of a...
I think the only time, really, if I'm being quite honest, was when I was at Newcastle United and we qualified for the Champions League, and we went into it where we lost the first 3 games, and then we won the next 3 games, which was quite incredible. I think we were the first team to do it in history, and we did it in a style where we were 2-0 up against Feyenoord. They got back to 2-2 and Craig Bellamy scored the winner more or less in the last minute. That was some exciting night, I've got to say. And you get lots of lows in football, I've got to be honest, but that was certainly one of the highs, and this could be up there with it. And you know, I'm looking forward to the experience, but I'm not going to go and just say, oh well, I'm just going to be here and take part and just be part of it. We want to be successful. Now we have to gauge where that success is going to be, and we'll get more of an idea with that after that first game.
Jack Hendry's a player that the manager said he hadn't seen much of due to budget reasons, obviously getting out to Saudi Arabia. How's he looked in training? Yeah,
I've seen quite a bit of him because I watch it on. We have a Y-Scout, so I watch these games the following day, and I've seen quite a bit of his games. And some of his games have been quite competitive against Al Ittihad in particular, where it was a real tough game for him, and he was right at it. But some of the games are not of that standard. So I then have a conversation with Jack and just said, listen Jack, you have to play at that standard every single week because you can't switch it on and off like a tap. So I've actually spent a little bit of time watching, because I know the Netherlands manager was out there, Koeman was out there with his assistant, watching him a couple of weeks ago because he popped up on TV. So you never know, Steve and myself might get a trip out to Saudi in the future.
Thanks, Sean.
Okay, thanks.